Reservation, we had a copy, we asked questions and had some feedback back and forth. Lee had taken some of those comments and has drafted another copy. I have some copies over here of comparatives if you want them that show the old and the new. The one I handed out was just the new one. So I ask for any questions. Lee, come on up and why don't you just give us a brief sketch of the difference.
Yes, thank you, and I apologize. With the numbers. Sure. Again, to go back from the last meeting, we had some discussion about the resolution, and I made some changes as per recommendations from both the council and the county, and they're focused, you see a red line, if you will, the issues on confirming and affirming that the planning decisions and the planning decisions about what is going to happen with the properties are really specified pretty clearly in Wasatch County, as well as the special service area number 1. I think that was to clarify that issue. The rest of these are minor modifications. There is one section on page 7, and that is to clarify, and I think this was a question that was raised, that if somebody has a water reservation agreement, they can't go out and make representations or claim that they have approvals from the county or utilize that as a security interest or something in that regard until they get the actual approvals from the county. So that language that's inserted there clarifies that as well. So, Mr. Chairman, that's the changes I have put in there as per the discussion with the county as well as council's interaction, or the board. I'm sorry, the board.
Ask any questions from the board? Is everybody clear on the intent?
I think it looks good, Lee. The only thing that I recommend or suggest we do is on page 5, where it says Wasatch County. The planning process, Wasatch County, number 1 is review the district's all proposed treatment, transportation, storage, and delivery system necessary for compliance. I would like to put in the word quantity.
That's fine. Tell us where you are, Steve.
Where are you?
Right on the last
section, page 5.
Yes.
On page 5.
So
that does clarify.
Yeah, just add the word quantity in there as
where are you adding quantity?
right there, water quantity, treatment, transportation, storage, and the other quantity. And I still have a concern. We equate everything to ERUs. Now, don't you think there would be a case where someone might want to reserve water that we can't equate to ERUs? Like,
yeah, I think
they want to make snowmaking water, reserve snowmaking water.
Yeah, that's good clarification. I put in there subject to applicable rules from the state, and it's just calculated as acre feet per ERU, and then whatever use is determined based on the standards is what it's going to be. So that's the common line.
But if you have snowmaking, how are you?
I don't think the state has a standard for the snowmaking.
Well, they just request acre feet, and they multiply that by 0.9. That's how many acre feet they want to have for irrigation and for snowmaking. In other words, the conversion factor right now is ERUs at 0.9, which is our current standard. I mean, our current number. And then whatever that interprets into as acres, acre feet for snowmaking, number of restaurants, number of hotel units, whatever is applicable to restaurants.
So they come in with the acre feet and we divide it by 0.9.
Yeah, that's the equivalent.
Even though it's not an ERU
No,
figure.
it's just based on that, and it adds the language subject to the
That's fine now because our duty is close to one acre foot to 0.9. But if the state drinking water ever reduces that, as they're talking about,
this is our current, and that's a very good question. These are all current numbers that we have, that the district has, which can always be modified. And this is a snapshot of where we are today. And this is all we have today, and this is our standard.
So if that changed, this would also then be
It
subject
obviously
to
will change. Right. And again, this is And it's a good question, and I want to say this again. This is the policy under which there will be contracts, and the policy is, I hate to use the word fluid, but it is subject to changes in either standards or ERU equivalents, but that can be adjusted as time goes on. This is the current situation as we sit today. So thank you for that clarification.
Other questions? Steve, are you okay there?
I'm fine with it.
All right, if there's no other questions,
Thank you all.
Thanks, Steve.
I think we're ready to adopt this. It's important that we get this done. That's why we cycle the meeting quicker, so that the policy that's in place up there can be replaced by this one.
I will make the motion that we go ahead and adopt resolution number 2015-2, dealing with water, amending the water reservation policy. Second.
Do you have any other discussion or questions? No, this is for the Jordanelle. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? It is unanimous. Adopted. I have 2 copies. I know a couple of you had some copies from the other day. Bob, do you want one of these?
No, I just got one, thank you.
Anybody else want a copy of this?
Yep.
Get it?
Go ahead.
So you got it. This replaces the one you had the other day.
Right. And they're all now adopted, so
Well, this is,
I have an extra one, but I need one.
okay.
Another one.
All right. Next, let's go into consulting contract. Now, I apologize for this one because I was at the legislature, didn't make it back in time, and I didn't communicate with Lee, or either Lee or Daryl about getting copies, but it came on your email. I'm just trying to find it so I can paraphrase some of the components of it. Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Basically what this is, I sent it to you so you can read it, but this is an agreement between us and former Councilman Steve Capson to help us with a few items. One would be accounting, one would be, the other one, and the main one would be for assistance in public relations and work with the news media. He's a former councilman, was on this board for 4 years and has been involved in a lot of the processes and can articulate it. Lee, give me one if you got one.
Oh, sorry.
Articulate it as well as anybody. It's limited to our discretion what we have to do. And so I would open it to questions.
This is the same one you sent.
This is the one that they sent.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mike, this refers several places that like you just stated,
Show it,
it would be
tell us.
under our discretion when he does. It seems that it mentions a couple of places that there'd be close communication with the board as we give him additional assignments or contract, I guess,
Assignments is the best,
Assignments.
is the word.
the different things that we would like him to do under this agreement.
That is true.
And I think that's important that we recognize that we're all going to be aware of what's happening.
And he has been already involved with my invitation on some of the communications with some of the activities with our communication system. Once he's under this agreement as negotiated with he and Lee, then we would receive those communications regularly, if not daily, probably, as things are needed. And certainly this runs probably at least through the legislative session and maybe just a little bit more, but that again, we will
But we
discuss
can
that.
terminate at any time.
Anytime, it's totally our discretion. And keep in mind, and that's just so everybody understands, that everything he's done up to this point has been at my invite, there's been no cost. He's done it just for us as we asked, so that's what we're doing.
This agreement runs to July 1st, 2015, unless...
Or until we
Up until unless changed.
And Steve's told me on many occasions that he wants to be helpful, but if the day comes when we're, as a majority, not happy with it, or we feel we don't need it, it's done that day, no problem. Lee, anything to add?
No, I think, Mr. Chairman, that's pretty well clears that up.
Okay. Let's entertain questions then. If not, we will ask for a motion. I'll probably go and let the audience ask some questions. This has been brought up in a couple of things. Does anybody have any questions? Go ahead. Gary, come on up here. That you had a hand, we'll go for it.
Arm wrestle for it?
Sure, whatever.
I've probably taken an opposite view on this one. I've been silent for a long time, and just to let you guys go ahead and get moving forward and everything else. But with this particular move, I think it's a bad move on your part. Over the last 4 years, Mr. Capson has been an integral part of all the negativity, both positive and negative, but a lot of negativity. I think it would be better for you to look for someone else to help build public trust back with your council and get someone that's just as well qualified. I think it's a mistake to be putting him in that position.
Thank you. I would say that from my point of view, we didn't consider that very thing, so I appreciate it. Anybody else? I'll come back to the council. You have questions? Or if not, the motion is in order.
Mr. Chairman, I would make the motion that we approve the consulting and confidentiality agreement between the, I guess it's between Jordanelle Special Service District and Steve Capson. Second.
We have a motion. Do we have a second there? We have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is unanimous. I will request from Steve then that he communicate with us at least weekly, but if not, more often when necessary, and we'll get that included. Is there anything else we need to deal with?
No. That's fine. Thank you.
Beaver